Hello, I'm Bill Martin. I'd like to welcome you to another segment of On the Banks. On the Banks is a fraternity podcast where we meet brothers, hear their stories, and celebrate the shared values of Phi Gamma Delta. Our theme for this season of On the Banks is service, with a major focus on the ways that undergraduate brothers make service a priority. In this segment, we're featuring the Pi Iota Chapter at Worcester Polytechnic Institute, or WPI, in Worcester, Massachusetts. The Pi Iota Chapter is over 130 years old, having been chartered in 1891. The two brothers with me today are Ryan Gottwald and Colby Jones, both of the class of 2024, and deeply involved in the chapter's service and philanthropy work. Colby and Ryan, thank you for being with us today. Look forward to our conversation. Before we get into some of the specific things that Pi Iota does and has done in the area of service and philanthropy, I'd just like to kind of get an idea of some overall attitudes and approaches in the chapter and where the role that service and philanthropy play at Pi Iota. So that's my lead question. What role does service and philanthropy play at the Pi Iota chapter?
Sure. So, like Bill mentioned, my name is Ryan. Me and myself and Colby are the philanthropy chairman for Pi Iota. And service and philanthropy are at the core of Pi Iota, and we kind of strive to make positive impact both on and off campus. It's not only courage, but it kind of is an expectation of the brothers when they join to participate in both philanthropy and service. We actually have a lot of fun hosting our philanthropy events. Our staples include Dunk a Fiji, which is when we bring a dunk tank up to campus and students or teachers, whoever's passing by, donates to dunk a brother or dunk a Fiji. Another one is Pi Fiji, kind of the same fashion. We go up on the busy part of campus and have a bunch of pies laid out, and people pay to kind of Pi Fiji, kind of in the name. In addition, we also have Fiji Flowers, which is coming up, which is when we sell roses on campus for Valentine's Day, along with various other table sitting events. Going on to the service side, we have a variety of services on and off campus. Off campus, we are involved with Work on Worcester, which is a Greek-wide event on campus where we help the local Worcester area with various things. This year, we helped with moving the Worcester Library's furniture from one building to another. So that was pretty interesting. Another service event we do is the True Robotics After School program with Our Bright Future. We'll get into that a little later. And then the last tradition we do is freshman move-in, is when we help incoming freshmen move into their new dorms every fall.
How do you all see service and philanthropy factoring into the image of the chapter and the image that brothers want to project and perpetuate to those outside of the chapter?
Yeah. Like I mentioned before, it's a big part of our image, and that can be attributed to the amount of organizations and nonprofits we are involved with. Unlike other chapters and fraternities, we try to incorporate as many in our efforts as possible. So we don't just pledge our proceeds to one organization. We kind of try to spread the wealth almost. And that's kind of a big part of what kind of sets us out from the crowd. And our brothers kind of reciprocate that too. So.
And we've used, just to digress a little bit here, we've used in the course of this conversation so far, the term service and philanthropy. Of course, service is a value of the fraternity and really is the overarching sort of attitude that we want brothers and chapters to have about giving to others. Philanthropy is that sort of that part of service. Just for those who aren't, some older brothers know what philanthropy is, but maybe don't know exactly how we use that term in the context of chapter activities. Philanthropy those are the fundraising efforts to raise money and provide funds to various charities and causes. So your roles as service and philanthropy chairs are to identify and plan activities and projects and so forth. So how do you motivate brothers and get them involved in service? How do you go about doing that? Because you're committing the chapter to do something. Now you got to get the brothers motivated and involved to show up to do something at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, or to take a pie in the face, or get dunked in a dunk tank, that sort of stuff. How do you get the brothers involved?
Yeah, so like you said, like Brian said, service is one of our main values at Phi Gamma Delta, especially Pi Iota. So during like the whole rush process, we thoroughly have conversations on our service and our philanthropy efforts. So going into it, the potential new members already know how involved we are with service, and they get excited over that at times. And then also it's just a long tradition in the Pi Iota house. Along with that too is like those events like Pi of Fiji and Dunk of Fiji. Those ones are like the exciting ones where you get to have some fun with the community. They get to dunk you, they get to have a little pie in the face, and it's just like a good time overall. So that's how like the brothers get motivated for those type of services. The after school program that we have, which we'll talk more in depth, but you get to like really see you're changing a little kid's life right in front of you. So that's just a motivational itself.
Yeah. So the reward, the personal reward, that's good. That's the most important incentive of all, is and motivation of all is that personal reward that brothers get from knowing that they're making a difference.
Right.
Sure. So how do you go about identifying and selecting the charities and causes that you're going to incorporate into your plans and into your program?
Yeah, so a lot of the times we can either we'll collaborate with another club or organization on campus, like ACS, American Cancer Society. They always do Relay for Life, and we always fundraise for them. Another time that we do, or another philanthropy event that we do, is Dunk of Fiji was for ALS TDI. One of our brothers, his grandfather suffered from ALS, and we wanted to show support within our chapter to our brother and make efforts for him. So a lot of the times, if it's like a brother who has a personal connection to a charity, we like to support them. And then community-wide, we like to support mental health awareness and those type of charities.
Sure. Very good. Now you mentioned mental health awareness, and I know in looking over some of the things that you all have done in the last couple of years, you've had projects, multiple projects and activities focused on mental health awareness. How did you become aware of that issue, and what are some of the things the chapter has done to try to make an impact there?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So within the past few years, WPI, along with many other universities and colleges in the US, have struggled with mental health. This is kind of put in the spotlight within the past 5 years. And we've kind of, like Colby said earlier, we wanted to show our support and awareness by continuing to support mental health awareness. And some of the past philanthropy events that we've done is the suicide prevention walk. For the past 2 years, it's a campus-wide event where we hire a speaker, incorporate the entire campus, and kind of just ground people almost, and kind of just get them away from this daily stress and struggle of academic life, and just kind of remember why we're all here and kind of a bigger purpose type of thing. The next thing we did was a lawn sign event where we just wrote kind of gratitude messages and kind of helpful messages on signs and placed around campus. So if you're having a bad day, you look at a sign. It's just kind of a little pick-me-up that kind of maybe gets unseen. And then our last one is No Shave November. Obviously, can't shave during the month of November. And we donate those proceeds to men's mental health, a charity called Movember, in support of spreading mental health awareness.
Very good. Yeah. Another thing I've noticed that in recent years, and this may have been going on for even more than just recent years, but the chapter does a lot to support both veterans and the active military. How did that become an emphasis, and what are some of the things you've done in that area?
Yeah. So Pi Iota, as long as we've been in the chapter, myself and Colby, in addition to as long as how I've been told, has always had a couple Rossi brothers in the house. And with this, we also have like grad brothers in the serving in the service or actively serving. So that just kind of creates a tradition of always supporting either veteran programs or military programs within our efforts. Currently, we have 2 undergraduate brothers planning, or one is planning on serving in the Air Force, and the other one is training to be an Army Ranger school. So in addition to grad brothers, we also have undergrads who we can like visually support and like show them that we applaud your efforts and like we want to see this through for you guys. So donating some of our time and money to those efforts kind of really helps them out, and we enjoy doing that. So
yeah, the personal connection always is a great motivator there in service. As was mentioned with the brother who had a relative who was affected by ALS, and then of course your current undergraduate brothers, your peers committed to military careers. Those sorts of personal connections obviously make at another level of reward to the service activities. You've both mentioned the after-school program called True Robotics that I understand the chapter first got involved in this past fall. What's the purpose of that program, and how did the chapter first get involved in it?
Yeah, so True Robotics is the company that builds a curriculum, and our one of our graduate brothers started that company, and he was partnered with this nonprofit called Our Bright Future, and that organization came to us at the beginning of this year and asked if we wanted to just start a program here at WPI where it was mainly Phi Gamma Delta ran. The brothers each spend 1 day a week. There's about 3 brothers that do it every day from 3 to 5, and pretty much what the goal is to teach STEM activities and STEM curriculum to underprivileged kids, and try to motivate them to learn more about STEM and be interested in math, science, and all that stuff, and get to just see it unfold right in front of you.
And what age are the students?
It varies between, like, we have some 4th graders and it all goes up to 8th graders. So it's a very young age to people who are deciding on what high school they want to go to.
Yeah, well, that's quite a commitment when you take an afternoon, even if each brother just does it 1 day a week, to take an afternoon a week and commit 2 hours of your time. That's a pretty significant commitment.
And it's pretty awesome because like some of the kids in that program are so smart. Like sometimes they even know more than me, like based off some of the programs we're using. Mm-hmm. And it's just awesome to see like what they know now and then what they can do with that in the future.
Sure. Yeah, I would imagine that you're able to help them see the practical applications of things that are just books, from out of books, and the things that they're going to be tested on in the regular classroom day to day, when they can see the regular application and see how it might affect their life, even in terms of some of the things that you talk about. It gives them a different perspective and maybe more motivation to dig in and develop that aptitude that they might have. And over the course of a week, what's the total number of brothers who might be involved in the program in a typical week?
Yeah, so it's 3 brothers every day for 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. Okay. So that's already 12 brothers. But then we also we have a core of 4 brothers that run each like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So they're always doing it every single week. But the other 2 brothers for the day, we like to swap them in. swap them out. You know, we like to rotate and make sure everyone's able to get that experience.
Yeah. So what portion of the chapter would you say over the course of the semester, the fall term, participated in the program?
I would say probably around like 15 to 20 brothers, so around like 2/3.
Okay, super. Yeah, very good. And that's continuing. Is your involvement in that continuing?
Yeah. So I'll be doing it Monday, and it'll be great.
Yeah, I got Wednesday.
Yeah. Now, okay, switching topics a little bit. This is an exciting time in the history of the Pi Iota chapter because you've got a new chapter house that's just about ready to occupy, correct?
Yeah.
When is it? When
Very
do you
soon.
expect? Will you get to move in before the end of this term?
So yeah, right now we're just waiting on National Grid to connect our electricity to the house. Hopefully, we've been waiting for it. The house has been ready to move in technically for a while now. We just don't have power. So as soon as we get that plugged, you know, we'll be able to move in. It's beautiful. It's incredible house.
Well, I know one of the things that's important history-wise is that the new house is at the same location as the previous one. That address is 99 Salisbury Street in Worcester. How long has the Pi Iota chapter resided at that address?
Yeah, I believe it's been almost or just over 124 years. I think
Wow.
we started residing there in 1899, which is it's just incredible to think that, you know, we've been at that same location for 124 years.
Yeah. And also related to that address, one of the neat traditions at Pi Iota is the 99 Salisbury rock. Tell us about the rock, the tradition, and how the chapter incorporates it into some of your service activities and emphasis.
Yeah, so the rock is placed on the corner of Boyd and Salisbury. So when you pull in the campus, it's right there, right in front of our house. You can see it. And then we paint the rock for various occasions, whether it be a holiday, philanthropy event, or just something going on campus. A couple of our big kind of paintings almost is the 9/11 painting we painted for the week of 9/11. In addition to more recently, the mental health awareness efforts, we painted for that. And then we do things like for Rush, paint a little slogan on there, and then happy holidays or congrats like class of 2025 or stuff like that. And it's actually funny, if you go up to the rock, there's so many layers on it that the paint has to be quarter or an inch thick or something like that, Colby?
Yeah.
Right.
Just layers and layers of paint.
Sure.
It's
There's never any effort to take off any of the paint. You just
you
you
need a chisel.
And how can let's see, we don't have a picture of it that we can show everyone, but I'm trying to think of how to describe to listeners and viewers the rock. I mean, it's a boulder. It's like a small boulder, you should say.
Yeah, it's probably, I'd say, I don't know, 5 feet wide, maybe 4.5, 5 feet tall. Yeah, it's definitely pretty big. Can't miss it.
No.
Exactly. It's like having your own billboard, but it's not subject to local zoning rules and regulations and ordinances and things like that. But you've got your own billboard right out there.
Yeah. To change the message, we just put a layer of white paint over it, and then you got a new canvas.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's clear Pi Iota chapter, again, dating back to 1891, has many great traditions, the rock and also your service activities and others. And brothers, I would like to thank you not just for being with us today, but particularly for the leadership that you provide in helping to maintain the emphasis on service and that tradition at the Pi Iota chapter. And please thank all the Pi Iota brothers for what they do to promote Phi Gamma Delta's value of service. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
There are many other interesting stories in Fiji land. Please join us again for On the Banks as we meet brothers and share their stories. Until next time, I'm mighty proud to be a Fiji.